Casey's Audio Vault.
Tom Gabel from Against Me.
March 25th, 2008.
Hey, Casey.
You enjoying life on the road this time around? Must be a little bit different than some previous tours.
Yeah. No, it's a very good tour to be on.
Having Eggs Benedict and strawberry crepes for breakfast?
Of course.
Yes.
Breakfast in bed.
What do you like about being on the road with the Foo Fighters? I'm just thinking of going back to your the DVD, We're Never Going Home. That was must be a different feel.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, though. I mean, that was 4 or 5 years ago when that was shot. But this tour is easy for a number of reasons. Like, Foo Fighters have been awesome to us. Their crew has been awesome to us. Their fans have been awesome to us. And, you know, it not being our show, there's not a lot of pressure on it for us in the sense that, you know, we're playing for 40, 45 minutes each night. And our only job is to get out there and win over fans.
And when you've been able to, I guess, shows in the States, you've done a few on your own?
Yeah, we've been filling in our off days.
I saw some of the money were going to charity. What sort of?
We've been doing a lot of work with this organization called Harvest of Hope, and it's an organization based out of Gainesville, Florida, where we're from, that works with migrant farm workers and their families. And basically what they do is the money that they raise, they just distribute to the families and the workers based on their need for whatever they need it for, be that, you know, new tires for their cars so they can get to work, electric bill, medical bills, clothes, you name it. And we've done probably like 5 or 6 benefit shows with them and raised around $20,000. And if anyone's interested in the organization, they can check it out at harvestofhope.net. So
it's a very big part still of the music charity, being aware of what's going on in the world. I think that's, you know, part of being a person, you know, being socially responsible, socially conscious, socially aware. Ideally, yes, but a lot of people are pretty much head to their feet, and I'll listen to whatever the radio plays and that kind of thing. That's got to be a little frustrating now that you're in, I guess, the corporate rock world.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I feel like that, you know, for us in particular, we're not coming from that scene. We're not coming from the scene of people listening to, or people discovering us really based on listening to the radio. That's something that's really new to us. So, yeah.
How do you respond to the old fans? I guess you got a little bit of flack from jumping from No Idea to Fat Records and then the jump to a full-fledged major. Is that just sort of roll off your back, no problem?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really taken too much stock in other people's opinions, for better or for worse. And you got to take the negative, you got to take the criticism with the praise all, you know, with a grain of salt, and just kind of take it for what it is and not let it affect what you're really doing. I mean, you know, we as a band, our main goal is to just, you know, get out there, play shows, write songs, put out records, and to have a good time ourselves, and hopefully, you know, to enable other people to have a good time and to communicate ideas and create dialogue, create discussion. And you know, not everybody has to like what we have to say, not everybody has to like what we're doing, but at the end of the day, the choices we make as a band have literally no effect on anybody else's lives but our own.
Have you ever found yourself as being a fan of a band, ever been let down by choices that they've made?
Well, no, you know, that's one of the things that's interesting is that, you know, thinking back to like the bands that I was into growing up, most of the time I didn't even really pay any attention whatsoever to what label they were on. You know, that wasn't something that ever crossed my mind, and it was I always listened to bands based on whether or not I actually liked their music. And if a band chose to go from an indie to a major, I would listen to that record just the same as I listened to their other records, and I would continue to listen to it based on whether or not it was good.
Have your opinions of sharing music, like downloading music and that kind of thing, changed since you were sort of a two-man operation trying to get your voice out, where the internet was definitely your friend, to a point where major labels are kind of worried about that?
Well, I mean, for us, when we were starting out as a band, and when it was still two-man or one-man or whatever, that was, you know, like 1997, and internet wasn't really that big of a part of music, and I don't really think that, you know, file sharing was something that really helped the growth of our band. It was more so mixtape sharing that really helped the growth of our band. So I'm all for people making mixtapes and sharing that with their friends.
Yeah, there's more of an art to it that way.
Yeah.
The song Americans Abroad, have you done much touring in Europe and all across the world?
I mean, we've toured all of Europe, Eastern Europe included, as far as Poland and Lithuania, to the UK, to Spain, Italy, Germany, France, you name it. And then we've gone to Iceland, we've gone to Australia, we've gone to Japan, Canada. We're hoping sometime this year to make it to South America. We'd love sometime to go to Africa. Hopefully someday mainland China. Who knows?
Well, the song seems to be very, aware of loud American tourists.
Yeah, well, that's something that you realize really quick when traveling abroad, is that the last person you want to hang out with is another American while traveling, because they're usually really, really obnoxious.
Do you still feel you're kind of keeping yourself in check? Just being, am I talking too loudly? Am I blowing smoke in somebody's face? Or?
Well, I mean, I just think that it's, something that, you definitely want to keep in mind and be aware of. And myself, I grew up in a family that traveled a lot, as my dad was in the military, and we spent about 4 years living in Italy. We spent a little bit of time in Germany. I had a pretty well-rounded experience, and I was, kind of taught by my mom and my dad to respect other cultures and stuff like that. And that's something that you realize when you travel, and as a grown-up then now in a band, is that a lot of people don't respect the other cultures. And a lot of bands in particular will go to other countries, and they don't see it really as a privilege, or they don't see it as something they're lucky to be able to do, to go and tour in Europe or anything like that. They see it as their right, that why wouldn't we be able to go over here and tour in Europe, and that they don't have to actually give anything back to the community. All they see it just as an opportunity to take from the community.
Do you get discouraged meeting those type of people as you're getting further on into your career, getting onto a major label, going to see play on Conan or Letterman? Do you get face-to-face with more a-holes?
No, it's not something necessarily that I've found that it's the more, I don't know, it's not something the more you get involved with corporate rock world or anything like that, the more assholes there are. I definitely think that it's more just there's jerks in every area, be that indie or major or whatever.
Your debut, I guess, was a bit of a nod. It was reinventing Axl Rose. Was that kind of like a chip at corporate rock, at Axl trying to find his way? And
well, when that came out, there was still a little more hope that Chinese Democracy would eventually be released. So
yeah,
Axl was a childhood hero of mine. I loved Guns N' Roses, and I got my first guitar when I was 8 years old, and as long as I can remember, the only thing I've ever wanted to do is play in a band and play music. And you get to an age where you get discouraged with dreams like that, and you're told you're never going to be able to do anything like that. And you start to feel like there's a closed door. And when I started to feel that way, I went ahead and started doing my own thing, and we made our own way. And that was kind of just what the title of the album was about, and what a lot of the album was about, and really was just doing it yourself, and not taking no for an answer, and reclaiming your dreams.
Do you still see Axl and Guns N' Roses as an inspiration? Do you still pull out Appetite for Destruction?
That record still stands 100%. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Use Your Illusions records are a little spotty. I think that they should have been one record, and you should have took out a lot of the cover songs. I mean, if you look at those records, there's 5 or 6 covers on them. It's ridiculous, and there's half of them are Beatles covers or McCartney covers, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, any musician who's been playing music as long as Slash or Duff has or anything like that is an inspiration to me, because I hope to be their age one day playing music still.
Have you picked up Axl's latest biography?
No, I have not. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, it just came out. I just finished it the other day. It's by Mick Wall, just one of the journalists he called out in one of the tracks off Use Your Illusions.
I'll check it out.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for calling the Rock Report. Appreciate it, and looking forward to the show tonight.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at Power97.com. KC's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.